You're listening to the Eight Figure Dentist podcast. This is episode number 39. So today I'm debunking a second myth about what a boutique practice is not. Some folks believe that in order to have a boutique practice, they need to redecorate their practice. They need to buy some nicer furniture in the waiting area, maybe your exam room, some other spots, elevate the whole look and feel of it. And then they can charge premium prices and they can work 2 days a week and everything's going to be great. And there are actually companies that exist that will come and do that for you. They will come and help redecorate your practice, and they will even give scripts to your staff. They will train your team on how to speak to the patients from the initial phone call to how to handle things in the exam room, how to do the follow-ups, right? So it sounds more elevated. So it is more deliverable to a more expensive type of client, type of buyer, right? And there's a big problem with that because boutique practice is not just buying new furniture, my friends. Have you ever been to places that looked a certain way but felt off? Have you ever met people that you spoke with them and you get this feeling, gosh, she's really trying so hard. Like they're trying too hard. That's what happens when you just do the exterior and you don't fundamentally change the concept of becoming a boutique practice. Now, how do you fundamentally change the concept? That is what the work that I do inside of the Eight Figure Dentist. If you yourself, that starts with you, doctor, if you yourself do not figure out how you are the category of one in the kind of dentistry that you are delivering, then everything that you do in order to masquerade your office as premium will feel fake. Patients will sense it. They may not be able to put their finger on, but they will, your premium patients. And so what you actually end up doing is you will attract the premium wannabes, and that's how you're going to have these difficult patients. That's why there's this myth. If you haven't listened, go to the episode 38. I talked about the myth number one about what a boutique practice is not. The myth is that it means you have difficult patients. They're tough, like behaviorally to manage. They complain a lot. They have a million of questions. They call you on weekends. They want extra treatment. They argue with you. They always come with a huge list from Google. Like these patients are attracted to these offices that never worked fundamentally on separating themselves from the market to having your niche, your special market proposition that you have that's different from all of your competition. You are one of, you're not the solution. And so you are attracting these premium wannabe patients. So if you are considering either fully switching your business model or just dipping your toes into becoming more premium, maybe let's say you're 100% accepting insurance right now, maybe like 98% of your new patients come from some type of form of dental insurance. And maybe you want to switch that. You want to start with, okay, we're going to be 70% in network and 30% out of network. Maybe you want to start there. Or maybe you want to do 50-50. Or maybe you are fully out of network, but you're still in assignment with insurance and you're still submitting claims. There's still the whole paper trail in the whole insurance conversation. And so you're not charging premium prices because you haven't positioned yourself as premium. So if you're in one of these three categories and you're considering going that route, please do not get fooled by the promise of we're going to buy new furniture in your office and you're going to become premium. We're going to make so much money now. That's not how it works. You have to figure out your unique value proposition on the market. What are you specific or not even specific, like what are you unique from all the dentists in your area? or even in the state, in the country, you have to be there's something very unique about you that often you're brushing under the rug. You are seeing, you're not even like looking at it. And that's the thing, how hard it is sometimes to see that because you're so close to it. And the reason why it's easier for me to see it is because I'm your mirror. When I speak with you, I can see it. I can mirror you back. This is what your genius is in. This is what separates you from all the doctors. And when you figure that thing out and you shine the light on it, you become the category of one. That's how you become boutique. Now, do you want to elevate the look of your office? A lot of the time, yes, absolutely. Do you want to elevate the experience? Yes. The team, maybe even the way you dress or your team dresses, or the level of conversations, the type of service. Yes, yes, and yes. But it has to start with deeper foundation. That foundation of what are you so uniquely qualified to help them with? And what does your premium patient even look like? What do they really, really want? You have to speak to this in order to attract that and then deliver that. And it's easier than it sounds. It's harder when it's in your mind because, again, like I said, you're so close to it. But when somebody reflects that to you, and then you start showing up in your social media, in your marketing efforts, in whatever you're doing for your marketing this way, honestly, at the beginning, like all of 100% of my private clients, they don't change a thing in their practice. They don't buy a single new piece of furniture. They don't change even anything on the billboards or like the before and after pictures or like they don't elevate any of the experience. But they change that self-concept, the way they're showing up, their level of authority. The first thing we do is how you lead your exams are starting to show up in the exams very differently. And that patient senses it and it's a match. And when it's a match, they start pouring into your practice. You start having more cash flow. And so it's so much easier to now rebrand. It's funny. It's kind of similar to what's going on with my coaching business because I helped so many people that it fueled the rebrand. And I have to get outside investors, and neither do you, because the quality of my work speaks for itself. People stay with me for years and renew and send their friends. My business is 90% referrals, and so is my orthodontic career. My orthodontic patients, like we hardly do any paid market. Actually, we don't do any paid marketing as far as I know. It is all referrals. And it started in figuring out what I was so different from the market at. What's that unique thing and owning it with audacity. Then speaking to my premium patient that way, giving them the reason to come to my office, telling them how I'm different, not in a convincing energy, not in a persuasion energy, not in, please come here, please sign up, I'm going to do a good job for you energy, but in a strong, authoritative, owning powerfully your work, the transformation that you create. And then the rest becomes light. The rest is magic. So if you are considering part of your practice or fully your practice becoming more premium so that you can work fewer days, charge more, and have patients that are light as a feather to work with, please do not run and buy new furniture today. Start with the things I spoke on this podcast episode today. And then when the cash comes is when you can invest into the next step. And last thing before I leave, when it comes to scripts for your staff, they also don't work because they can read the script and they can even practice it well. But if something happens and they stumble, the patient is going to feel it. If the patient gets upset or something goes not according to the script's plan, if the words are not coming out naturally for your staff, if it's just scripted what they're supposed to say, then they will always fall short and it will always show. You don't buy boutique practice. You don't just redecorate to become boutique. You have to become boutique. You don't just get boutique. You become one. And then everything else in the world around you follows. I hope that was very helpful. Again, please follow this podcast episode. Please tell your friends who are struggling in the volume model without even realizing it. If you have friends who are complaining to you about how exhausted they are, how there's a million of things that are falling into cracks, and how they just want to quit this whole thing and sell it and start working at Starbucks, please share this podcast with them. Help them learn the reason why they have this problem. It's not them, it's the business model that you were taught. Without, nobody even told you it's the business model. You were just taught that this is how you run dental practice. This is how you do business in dentistry. That's why you're so blind to it. But there are different ways to do it that is much easier, more exciting, and feels like true freedom. If you would like to connect with me, just message me on Instagram at the 8-Figure Dentist. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.